Today, I'm going to be sharing with you a long bet slip winning strategy which you can always use to create your long bet slip and winning consistently. In this tutorial, I'm going to be using two apps as well as three applicable tips which you can always use to come out with the best result for your long bet slip and to improve your winning chance greater than 98% and up till 99%. So to begin with, I'll first of all want to move directly to my Play Store, as you can see here, and search for the key term Prima Tips, which is one of the apps we are going to be using for this strategy to create our long bet slip. And of course, it looks like this based on the logo of the app. And you want to make sure that you go ahead to install this app on your device if it is the first time for you to use this app. Once you locate this app, it looks like this based on the images display result, and you want to make sure that you go ahead to install the app successfully and locate the open button as you can see here and click on it directly. Once you do that, you are going to be taken to a front page that looks like this as you can see here, and now we are going to start applying the tips and strategy for you to form your long bet slip. To begin with, the first tip you want to use is making sure that you use an extended number of days when it comes to forming or creating your long bet slip. I will explain this in details when I say use an extended period of days or limit for you to create your bet slip. What I mean is making sure that you put a number of days which you want to use to create your long bet slip. This is an expert tip, and why it is never advisable for you to choose all the games in one single day. It is the best tip for you to use, making sure that you pick your games in a limit or days range, ranging between 3 to 5 days, so that you're going to create your long bet slip easily. And based on expert tip, I can tell you that picking all your games in one single day to create your long bet slip will always reduce your winning rating. If you want to improve the rate at which you are going to win when it comes to long bet slip, then you must make sure that you pick your games on different consecutive days between 3 to 5 to improve your winning chance greater than 98% and up till 99%. Now the second tip for you to apply is making sure that you pick a maximum of 3 games to 4 games for one single day and multiply by the number of days which you want to create that long bet slip. As an example, if you are to choose that you want to make your long bet slip to be 3 days, then you want to make sure that in each of the day you are going to choose a maximum of 3 to 4 games and multiply by the number of days which you want to create your long bet slip. If you choose 3 days to create your long bet slip and choose 3 games per day, then if you multiply 3 by 3, you are going to have 9 games in that bet slip. If you want to go for 4 games as maximum per day and you have chosen a limit of 3 days, then you are going to have 3 times 4 days, which is going to be 12 games in that slip. But if you choose 5 days as the extended number of days and decide to take 3 games per single day, then if you multiply 3 times 5, you are going to have 15 games in that bet slip. This is the best strategy for you to implement when it comes to creating long bet slip and to improve your winning chance. In other words, you have to make sure that you do not go ahead to pick all the games in one single day, but making sure that you extend the number of days by between 3 to 5 days and picking a maximum of between 3 to 4 games per day to multiply by the number of days which you are going to choose. This is the next tip, which is very, very important when it concerns this long bet slip creation. And once you now take this into consideration, then the next step for you is to make sure that you go ahead to find the best game in a single day for you to include in your slip. Now, with the use of this Prima Tip app, what you want to do is, it all depends what bet type you want to go for. There are some people who like to go for straight wins. There are some that like to go for over 1.5 or 2.5 goals. There are some that like to go for, it depends on whatever type or bet type you want to go for. With the help of this Prima Tip app, it is very easy for you to filter games based on your choices. And of course, if you look at the eye icon that is here and click on it directly, what you are going to notice is that this particular tip or this particular app has a filter which can enable you to find games easily based on your selection and for you to easily pick games based on the display result on the selection you are going to choose. And I'll also share with you some tips for you to apply when it comes to using this particular app to find the best games to form your long bet slip for maximum winning rate. The first choice you want to go for is to make sure that once this page has been displayed to you as you have touched the eye icon, is to go ahead to pick what bet type you want to go for. As an example, I want to choose standard 1x2, which simply means that either the home or the away team is going to win. Now, the second thing you want to do is to make sure that you come to this three stripe, as you can see here, click on it and choose %1 as an example for the games to be displayed to you in accordance of percentage range by winning and the odds being displayed by the side of it. With this app, let's assume that today is the 13th of February. And of course, what I want to do is, since we are to pick a maximum of 3 games to 4 games per single day, what you are going to do is to make sure that in the list of games displayed to you, you only go ahead to pick between 3 to 4 games in that day, and you are going to move to the next date to find games. As an example here, we have a match between Leicester City and Sheffield Wednesday, which is telling us that the win rate percentage of Leicester City to win here is 74%, and that of the away team is 15%. And the odd range for it to win is 1.30 for it to win, as you can see here. Now, I want to draw a line of odd range for you to consider when it comes to a straight win for games like this. You want to make sure that the percentage range at which a team should win should be greater than 50 and going upward. In this case, Leicester City range for it to win is 74%, which is greater than 50, and it is very good to consider. Now, the next thing you want to look at is making sure that the odd range should not be greater than 1.50. In other words, it can be between 1.10 to 1.50, which is good. But once as it is greater than 1.50, then the risk probability of the home team to win or the away team to win based on the choices will be risky. In this case, the first game, Leicester City and Sheffield Wednesday, meet the criteria, which you want to go ahead to use in-depth analysis to see if you are going to pick this game or not. You want to make sure to click on the game directly. Once you do that, you'll be taken to an insight analysis where you can go ahead to use things like the most recent games they have played based on Leicester City, as you can see here, how they win and how they actually lose, as you can see here, the rate of its opponent, last games they have played, as well as looking at these teams on the team table, as you can see here, to compare them, finalizing it with this area that says Team League Statistics. To use these 3 applications or 4 use cases for this strategy to pick the best home or the away team to win, then you want to make sure that you go through all of these areas to conclude for your picks. As the first thing you want to do is making sure that you look at the win rate percentage of the favorite team, making sure that it has a win rate percentage which is greater than 50, in which in the case of Leicester City, here it is 75%, which is good, and making sure that the rate at which it loses should not be greater than 25%. In this case, the lose rate percentage is only 8%, telling you that Leicester City have a better form and the possibility for it to win is very high. But you are not going to conclude here. You need to make sure that you look at that of the opponent as well to see if they can concede a lot. And if they concede a lot, then the probability of the favorite team to beat it is high. You want to look at the win rate percentage of the opponent, which in this case, it is only 33%, telling you that they don't have a very high probability of winning this game. And the lose rate percentage here is 50%, which has already passed our rate for good defense of being not greater than 25%. In this case, it has exceeded up to 50%, telling you that the away team has a weak defense, and therefore Leicester City could take that advantage to beat the opponent since it has a weak defense. But you are not still going to conclude there. You want to make sure to check on the team table statistics, comparing the games based on the number of matches they have played, the win, draw, and the lose. And this is to tell you that based on the table, Leicester is in the first, as you can see here, and the opponent is relegated. Now you already have an idea of what team is going to win and what is going to lose. You can come here on this area that says team league statistic to conclude in this area by looking the average goal score rate and the average goal conceded rate of the two to compare and finalizing it with the range of the home and the away win, as you can see here, based on the rate at which they concede and the rate at which they actually score. The conceded rate and the goal score rate will actually tell you which team to go for. In this case, the average goal score rate of Leicester City here is 2.0, which is greater than 1.8, telling you that it has a higher chance of winning and that of its opponent concede at a rate of 2. This is true, telling you that since the away team has a weak defense, then the home team will take that advantage, beating the away team, and therefore you can now start to look at the possibility of the fact that the home team could win in this match. Once you make all of these criteria and try to check from the in-depth analysis, you are going to have an understanding of what team you want to go for when it concerns straight win. Now you want to make sure to apply the same tip to go ahead all of this game, finding the best 3 games when it comes to this. And once this area has been completed, you want to move to the next day to find games which are applicable and following all the analysis and stats. And the next thing to do for you to find the away team to win is to come to this area on the eye icon, making sure that it is on 1x2, but this time you want to click on this 3 stripe and choose %2, which means the away team to win. Now you also want to find games based on the away team to win, and you are going to also use the same strategy, making sure that the percentage win for the away team should be greater than 50, and also making sure that the odd range for it to win should not exceed 1.50. That is, it should be between 1.10 to 1.50, and picking all the games based on the away team to win, and using the same applicable strategy, checking how this team actually perform, the rate at which they lose and the rate at which they win, looking at the team table or the league table, comparing them, and also coming to the area where you want to look at team league statistics, comparing them based on average goal score rate and average goal conceded rate, finalizing it with the home and away based on the rate at which they scored and concede based on the 2 teams here, making a conclusion and picking the best games. With this strategy, you are going to come out with the best home and away win match picks to form your particular slip of the number of games for that day before moving to the next day. Once this has been completed, for those of you who like to go for goals, then you want to make sure to choose the eye icon and only choose over or under goals, and this is going to be displayed to you. You want to make sure to tap the 3 stripe as you can see here and choose this area that says over 2.5 and click on it, and games based on over 2.5 will be displayed to you. Now you also want to make sure to use the same applicable strategy, making sure that the over 2.5 rate, as you can see here, based on this green button here, this green highlight 2.5, as you can see here, the range of 2.5 goals should be greater, as you can see here, than 50% and going upward, which in this case it is true. And you want to make sure that you only pick odd range of between 1.10 to 1.50. In this case, it is 1.43, meaning that it can be safe for us to go for teams like this when it concerns over 1.5 or 2.5 goal. But you are not going to conclude there. Once it meets the criteria, you want to make sure that you click on the game directly to check it from the inside analytic. Also, as this game here, as you can see, Bredavik, it also meets the criteria of 70% and 1.33 odd range. If you click on it as an example, make sure to check the in-depth analysis, looking at the average goal score rate and average conceded rate of these by coming to both of them and comparing them to make the best pick choices, looking at the team table as well as the rate at which they win and the rate at which they score, making that pick based on how they actually meet the criteria. As an example, in this case here, you can see a match between Makater and Saba, which is already playing. And now they have played 47 minutes, as you can see from the right-hand side here. And you can see that in the first 47 minutes, they have already scored 2 goals. This has met the criteria, and you can see that the case is applying to be true. This is 69%, and the odd range is 1.32. And you can see that this match is already playing. If I open it, and you can see it is 47%. It is actually 47 minutes that has passed, and 2 goals have already been scored. This is actually in the AFC Cup. And if you scroll down, you are going to see that it's going to meet the criteria based on the explanation which we have explained following this tip. And when you do this, you are going to come out with all the best home or the away team to win over 1.5 or 2.5 goal based on check of analysis. But for those of you who want to go for both teams to score and double chance, then you also want to make sure to use the same applicable case. And now, once this has been done, you want to make sure that you switch to the next day by going to the different dates, switching on a different date, and you are going to see different matches will be displayed to you. Now, on a different day, you still want to make sure that you use the same applicable strategy, picking a maximum of 3 games or 4 games of that day to combine or to add to the next games which you have picked from the previous, and making sure that you are going to add the number of games on that slip. If on the first day you have 3 games or 4 games, and on the second day you still manage to pick 3 or 4 games, then let's assume that on the first day was 4 games, on the second day was 4 games, then you are going to already have 8 games on that slip for 2 days. After that has been done, you want to make sure that you move to the next day to find another game 3 to 4, move to the next day to find another 3 to 4, and you want to extend the number of days from between 3 to 5 to form your bet slip, which is long bet slip. And applying all this strategy, you are going to come out with the best result. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also enable the notification bell icon so as to be the very first to receive new post notifications and updates when we have a new video or tutorial. And see you again in the next episode. Bye-bye.